Hi, this is Kim with Kim's Creations and Card Ministries. I'm coming to you on a pre-recorded video. Today is February the 12th, 2026. I finished a live video a little while ago and did not get finished with the 4 cards that I had shown you. I didn't get to finish demonstrating how I made those cards. So I've come back to do the additional cards. And I'll upload this video either tonight or in the morning sometime. Again, I'm using this paper pack, the Stampin' Up paper pack. It's this 6x6 Love Notes Mix and Match Designer Series paper. It's got 6 different designs. I believe there was 8 of each page. They have all kinds of cool little things that you can cut out. You can just cut them out and attach them to a goodie bag for Valentine's, or you can cut them out and make cards with them. Like this is a good one because it's fronts and backs, like to cut out and put on a little goodie bag. But anyway, I'm making cards out of them. It was a challenge because kind of wasn't exactly what I was expecting in the package, but I need Valentine's paper kind of thing was what I was doing. So anyway, I did some cards last night and I had uploaded those. And then when I finish all of them, I'll take a picture of all of them. I'll put them on my Facebook page and I'll try to figure out how to put them on my community tab here. I think they're supposed to load up pictures on my YouTube channel too. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I did these 2 live a little while ago. I just think this one's really cute. Because of the blue, maybe more appropriate for a guy. And then this was the other one I did. And I'm using the stuff that I'm using to do these, with the exception of this red ribbon, everything was current. I didn't, when I did these. So, I'm trying to make sure that I'm using things that are available. Last night I wasn't sure about the availability of some things, and I went back and found that they were indeed, some of them were still available. So that was good. But anyway, so now I'm going to do these 2 cards. And that's probably all I'll have time to do. So let me move these 2 out of the way. Again, I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. So I make cards. I like to give my cards away to nursing homes and Meals on Wheels. Although I didn't do a lot of that this past year. I did a little, but not what I usually do. So I'm trying to get back into that again. If you like to do stamping or scrapbooking and want to use me as your demonstrator when you order, I would greatly appreciate it. Helps me earn a little bit money so I can buy some more products to share. Just to keep my hobby self-sustaining would be, so if you want to order anything, you can look me up on the Stampin' Up website and just type in my name in the Find a Demonstrator button and it should come up because I'm in there. This is my Facebook page. You can text me if you have any questions. You can email me. I usually check my email only about 3 times a week, but you can text me. So let me get started. In the other video, I had pulled out the papers that I needed to do these 4 cards, so I've kind of gone ahead and sorted them out so they're a little bit more accessible now. So I'll do this card first. Again, it's pretty much just stuff, paper that was cut up that came from the kit. So it's a standard card. You take your 8.5 by 11, you cut it in half at 5.5, score it at 4 1/4, and this is the thick white, basic white thick for Stampin' Up. All right, and this I will need. I need this as a little piece to go in the back behind this, so I'll need that to cut because I didn't have another piece that was big enough. I'm going to need this little piece. I'll need to trim it a little bit. I'm going to need the back of something here. I'll need this piece right here. I will need this piece right here. And I'll show you how I cut that. I will need a couple little pieces of this pattern right here. And I will need a couple strips of this. And this had the purple on the back. And then I've got a few purple cards, but I don't think I have time to do those tonight. All right, so I think I will start with, I'm going to cut this piece that goes right here. So where did I put my ruler? I had it. I had my ruler. Where did I put it? I cleaned up a little too good because I knew where everything was. Well, it was right here under my nose. I knew where everything was when I was. Okay, so this is 2.5. I'm going to just make it 2.5 by 2.5. That makes it easy. I need some new blades for my cutter here. And I apologize, I cannot get the entire cutter on the page. All right, 2.5. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut 2.5 all the way down. There, and I'll set this piece to the side. And then I'll turn it and cut it 2.5 again this way. And then I'll put this other piece to the side. And then this one, I didn't cut it just perfectly when I was detaching it from the other pieces in the kit. So I'm going to just take a little smidgen. I'm going to do this side. Do this short side first. Take a little smidgen off of there. And then I'm going to turn it and take that little smidgen of blue off of it here. And actually, okay, yeah, I think that's it. All right, take that little smidgen of blue off. Okay, and I think that's got that one. All right, so that's that piece. There's the back piece. I need this piece. Okay, so it is here. Now, I really love this green paper, but I also really love this. So when I needed some of the green paper, I just tried to like cut off the white pieces so I could save as much of this. So I'm kind of going to do that again. And also I need a strip of this. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off first. So this piece right here, I'm going to cut away. Just line that up into that little indentation in my trimmer here. Cut that piece off. This piece needs to be, I think I did these at 3/4 of an inch. I did. So I'll go ahead and cut this strip and then it'll be done at 3/4 of an inch. And when I'm cutting my smaller things, I do on this side of my trimmer. Okay, so there is that piece. And I'll set this piece to the side. And now I'm going to cut my greens. I needed 1 inch for that one card I did, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do 1 inch. And then I think I'll just do 1 inch on the other side, and it'll probably turn out about right. 1 inch and 1 inch. Yep. And that left just enough of that heart that I'm going to need. All right, so let me just take, I'll cut it right here. There's another little piece of that scrap. All right, let's see what I have here, because this was 2.5. What do I have here? I have right at 2 1/4, so I want it to be 2 1/4. So that's right about 2 1/4. So I need it 2 1/4 this way as well. So let's see, 2 1/4 would put my cut line about right there. I might make it just a little shy of that, so the heart's a little bit more centered. Not much though. It's gonna be a little bit less than 2 1/4, but I think it'll be all right. I think I ended up doing that on that one too. And then this will go in here like so, and that works just perfect. Okay, so that's that. And I've got little scrap pieces left. All right, of those. So I think, okay, I need a strip of this. That's 3/4 of an inch for the front of my card. And I apologize again that you can't see the bottom of my cutter. I can maybe push it up a little further. I don't know how far that, I still have to be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. It's at 3/4. It's there, 3/4 of an inch. And, oh, that didn't feel good. That's probably that blade that needs replacing. And these need to be, I did not take them all the way up to the edge. You could do them at 5 1/2, but I just did them at 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut both of these together, just make sure they're lined up good. And I'll line it up at 5 1/4 inch and cut off that tiny piece that's left over down here at the bottom. It's just like a little square. But that might be cute in a collage page. I'm really wanting to do a collage page. And then I need a piece for the inside. And I didn't do that quite as wide. I just did it a 1/2 inch. So I'll do a 1/2 inch for the inside. Again, I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. A little tiny piece left over. All right, so that's for the inside. And then, okay, now I need to get these two little odd pieces right here. Little flags. Let me set this aside. Okay. This piece is a fussy cut piece, and I want to do another one of these. So again, I kind of have to be careful how I cut it. I did use part of this as another card for another card, this piece up here. So I want to cut it and kind of keep it usable. So I'm just going to go just close to those flowers as I can without cutting them off. So probably about right where I am. Let's see. Yeah, maybe take it down a touch. Okay, so I'm going to cut that right there. So I'm going to hang on to this to make another card with this again, with this piece. And then here, I'm wanting some of this or some of this to put here. So again, I can cut this up. Y'all see these little dots right here? I can pretty much just cut on that dot right there and it won't get my flowers. So I'm going to line it up to cut approximately where those little dots are. And I can still fussy cut this out. And I have this piece that I can use there. I also could use these two. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right about right here and right about right here on each side, because I can use these little scraps for something, and I'm going to be fussy cutting this out, so it won't matter. So I wanted y'all to be able to see how I try to utilize the paper pack as best as possible. So there's that cut. And then I'm going to do it over here. This side I can't go in quite as far on. kind of weird that and I probably could have gone a little further than I did, but that's okay. So I think I want to use this bigger piece, but I got to cut off this right here because I just want the checkered pattern. I'm trying to see, this piece might actually work. I think I can just use this piece. I'm going to just use this piece. I'll put this one away, and I'm going to put this away. So I'm taking all of these leftover pieces that I'll still be using in a card, and I have empty. So this container is actually little empty DVD containers, and we put our wet chamois cloths in these to clean our stamps on. And I had one that didn't have a chamois cloth in it, and I was sticking all my scraps down in the paper pack, but then they got to be, then I still have a few in here, but it just got to be too much trying to pull them out of there all the time. So I'm temporarily using this DVD box for this, but these are actually, if I could find some of these cheap somewhere, they would be great for scraps for that go together, that go with a certain paper pack or something. I kind of like that. All right, so next, I think that was everything, and now I can just stamp some stuff and start gluing. So let me do that. Oh, I didn't put this back. That is not the piece I was using. Where did I must have, did I put that piece in the DVD box? I might have. I think I did. I stuck it in there. It was this one right here. Okay. So that was everything. And I just need to kind of cut this. I'm going to cut this little strip in half. It is 2 inches, so I'm going to just cut 2 little 1-inch pieces. Cut it into little 1-inch pieces there. So there they are. I'll set them on the envelope. They're easy to see. That goes on the inside. Now, on the inside, for this one I stamped "You're the Best." This is a current stamp set. There's some other things we could use. Wishing you love and happiness lasts a lifetime. I'm here for you always. You've been on my mind. I mean, you could use all of these for a Valentine card. This "You're the Best" came out of this Creative Haven set. I'm sorry. You could put "I love you no matter what." You'll always, it's B, but it's got the B's for this is the Bumblebee set. You make my heart buzz. There was something else that I was thinking. Can't remember. Well, I'll just stick to the "You're the Best" on this. So, okay, so this is my card base. And so, y'all, I've used this one time. I used this stamp one time to stamp it right there. The red stained it, I mean, almost immediately. I mean, I washed it like really quickly after I used it, and almost immediately it stained. The red just stains these stamps. So it's kind of crazy. I'm going to use my bone folder and try to put that edge down a little bit where I cut it. All right, so I'm going to set this right here to kind of give me an idea. Because when I put that in there, it moves my center over a little bit, and I kind of want that to be stamped as close to the center. Looking for my sponge. There it is. And I'm using Real Red to stamp this. Okay. Move the card out of the way. Make sure I don't have a cat hair on there. I have one on top. I don't think it's on the stamp. So my fluffy cat is Sophie. She's fluffy. She really is fluffy. She's also a little heavy. She's a little chunky monkey, but she's very fluffy. And she sheds something awful. But anyway, I love her. So she's sitting up here on this cabinet thing that I have on my desk. And so she's up high in a box, a little box that she's sitting in. And, but yeah, she jumps up and down off from there, but she doesn't really mess with any of the stuff. Now the other kitty, Ivy, she messes with everything. All right, I'm going to use my tiny heart here, and I'm going to use this, I'm using Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to stamp the envelope too, so that's why I haven't closed up my stamp pad. So, and I'm just going to put a few of these little hearts. And I put one. Let's put this back. That there. So I stamp before I try to stamp before I start gluing things down, in case I have a big blunder. Now I could always cut out another piece of paper and cover up my big blunders, but yeah. Now I don't think I stamped anything on the front. I did not. So that's all the stamping other than my envelope. So let me go ahead and do the envelope. So I did this one. I just did a bunch of the little pink hearts. Oops, I don't need the red anymore. So let me close it. And I've got an envelope right here. Oops, still need to glue that inside. So we'll put some along the bottom here. And I try to do them straight, but they're usually not perfectly straight. Oh, I hope I'm in the camera. So this is the thing, when I don't do a live and I just do a video, I can't tell if I'm in the camera or not unless I stand up. Yeah, that one really went downhill. Unless I stand up and look. So, and I probably should stand up to stamp these little hearts too. Might be do a better job lining them up if I was standing right over it. So when I stamp and it's just me, I have this thing pushed way back, you know, so my head is directly over it. So typically I'll do a little better when I'm with my stamping when I'm not trying to video. Okay, so that envelope's ready to go. All right, now we'll start gluing things down. Let me move this over out of my way. I will do my small strip on the inside. I'll go ahead and glue it. And so I've got 3 cards I designed using that purple paper and some of the elements that have purple on them. So if I get a chance tomorrow, I'll do a video with the purple ones. And then I think I'm probably going to stop doing anything new and just try to somewhat duplicate. I might change them up a little bit, duplicate some of the cards I've already done so I'll have enough. And I might change the sentiment on some of them depending on who I'm giving them to. But so I can get these cards finished and passed out, at least somewhat delivered before Valentine's Day. So, like, I can drop all of them off at work. And I'd like to drop them all off tomorrow so some of the people would get them tomorrow. Anybody that might not be working Saturday, because I work Saturday. All right, so we'll do this one next. So I could at least get some of them delivered tomorrow, hand delivered. And then I want to give one to my neighbor across the street, my elderly neighbor. And she's by herself over there, but her family comes to see her pretty frequently. But I want to take her little card. And then other than my family, I don't know that I really have anybody I want to give a Valentine card to. It's a little bit late to stick them in the mail, but I'll stick them in the mail anyway, and they'll get them late. So, because I have to work Sunday, so I can't go see anybody even Sunday to take them to them a day late. So they're either going to be a lot late, or they're not going to get them. So I'm just going to mail them, and they're going to be late. I'll try to get them all. I'm trying to get them all mailed and delivered tomorrow, though. That's the plan. Either in the mail or hand delivered tomorrow. The people I work with. Okay. And then I need to put this on here. So when you know what you're doing, when you already have a plan and a design, you can put these together really quickly. You just cut and paper them for the most part. And a little tiny bit of stamping. And like I said, they go together pretty quickly. Like that. So what originally I was going to do with this, I was going to put it more like in the middle and do these. And I might be able to do it with this one. But I ended up bringing it over further because I want these to go all the way to the edge. You see what I'm saying? And this other one, I had them too short to pull it over this far. So I had to pull it over here in order to get them to be on the edge. Which, I mean, it's fine. Technically, I'd like them that far out, but the piece isn't big enough. But that's okay. So, maybe do about right, because you can really barely see that there, and I wanted to be able to see. And I think I'm going to try to bring this up a little higher this time too. Bring them up to there. I think I like that. Up there and about right there. So I need a little bit of glue right here, and then right under that. And I'm going to just barely get up here where y'all can see. So put a little bit of glue right there. Just going to barely put that on there. And a little piece right there. See if I got that kind of even. I'll put my card down so I can see if they're going kind of even. About right there. Yeah, that should be it. All right, so let me glue the whole piece down now. Probably put too much glue, so I was trying to like squish it around a little bit without pushing any more out. Sometimes I get my finger and do it so I can get it to the edge, but then I get a messy finger, but you know, whatever. All right, so I have it go not quite all the way over, but just want to leave a touch of that showing. There we go. And then I'll have to just trim off that little tiny bit. There's that one. And I think I put this on dimensionals. So I'll put him on dimensionals. Pick it up, pick it up. Dang, I messed that up. I might be able to fix that. Let that dry. I might be able to use my little sanding tool to get that off. All right, Kim. Dimensionals. I'll put on the back of this. Again, can't see what I'm doing when it's really far away from me. I need one of those standing tables, because then you can get over it better and see everything a little better. And then I will put this about maybe right there. About right there. Yep. Okay. So let's tear these off. Okay, just checking my time. Doing pretty good. Okay. So this is going to go right about here. There we go. And I'm going to cut these off. What did I do with my snips here? It's a little bit harder to cut trim off of a folded edge. It's like a little bit harder to get like right up next to it. I don't know why, but it is. That's pretty good though. And so there's that. Let me get my little sanding tool. I can sand those little glue smudgies off. I should have just been working on my glass pad, but it glares in the light. So I'll put this piece of paper down instead. And may end up deciding to stamp something there. Kind of take away from that. I will. Whoops. Just stamp a little heart back there. So this is the thick cardstock, but for some reason it is, sometimes it's these bright, well, I think it's because it's the bright red that it's like wanting to kind of bleed through. It's okay though. Didn't bleed through. Okay, now I have a couple little accessories. What are they called? Brain, come back. Little embellishments that I want to put on there. Let me move some stuff so I can get in my drawer with the embellishments. So I did go through some of my embellishments and pulled out some that had retired and some that had not retired. So some of these I haven't gone through yet, but these are not retired. It's one of the few things I had on the, I don't have a lot of embellishments right now that have not retired. So now I will still use them and on cards. So, but I try to show you guys things that haven't retired. So I'm going to put the small ones on these little tabs here. I would have rather had like a flat gold, but my flat gold ones had retired. So I'll use this bigger one. I must have used a smaller one, but I think I want to use this bigger one on here. Let's see, put it right here. And I also had those little gold hearts, but they're unfortunately, can't remember if they were all retired or if they're on the last chance list. So last chance means they're basically retired. So that was that. So there, that's that card. That was pretty easy. Like I said, once you know what you're doing, these go together pretty quickly. And there's the envelope that I made to go with it. So I've got those. Got that one. All right, and then let's do this last one. Now this one has a lot of stamping, but it's easy. I say it's easy. This has got a fold to it. Little easel fold, so then you see it like this. Let me see if that shows up right. Yeah, so it stands on your table, but anyway, this is like you would see it like this, and it opens up, and I've put a little tag or bookmark or whatever you want to call it. So I will, and okay, and the other thing too, when I did this one, I should have not put this score line until after I stamped it, because there's some mistakes in there that won't happen if you do it first. All right, but let me go ahead and cut out what needs to be cut out. I thought I had one of these cut out already. So really, we need, oh yeah, here we go. So we're going to need this piece to go behind this. Happy Valentine's Day. This was the one for the tag. This is the piece here. I need another one of those You're Amazings. I thought I had one. And I need this guy, but I was thinking, all right, get my little box out. Let me see. That's all I need. Okay. I have this one. I don't have that one. Okay. And do I have a You're Amazing? Oh, wait, I do have that one. I just need to cut it off of that. Let me look. That paper pack might have had one. I do have a couple things. I do. There it is. You're Amazing. There we go. Here it is. And so I don't need to cut this one out. I can stick this one back in my paper pack. So you don't need it. And that's it. I just need to cut off You're Amazing, and I need to cut that off. And my other pieces of paper are already cut. Okay. Excuse me. Ouch. Got things falling out of my little case here. That's one thing I just realized. These don't really seal that great, and I was losing some little pieces of papers out of it, but it's okay. All right, now back up here. Cut this in half. Again, I'm sorry if it's out, but I just cut this apart. So there's that one. Okay, and then I need to cut this guy off. I made a card with this, one of my purple cards I made with that. I think that was everything that I needed. Okay. Now we're going to be doing some stamping here, so let me pull this back in. So here is my card base. And I'm going to be stamping all the hearts on the front with this little heart. And I'm using the Real Red. And see, I know you see some of my hearts are darker than others, so that's where I stamped off. So some of them are dark, and some of them are not dark. And that's how I'm doing it. All right, and that didn't turn out. It's not going to turn out perfectly, but it'll be pretty good. So I'm going to try to get this first one. I'm going to stand up. I got to get where I can see. All right. I get where I can see and keep it in the video. All right, so we're going to go here. And see, I kind of messed that up a little bit already. And there. Here. Now this is where you have to be careful, is if you go off a little bit on your first stamp, when you make your second stamp, it messes up. See right here, that was off the page on the first stamp. So it still had that first set of ink on it. And that's why that did that. So, just putting that out there. I'm going to stamp off. Do this one right here. It's quiet. So, I hope y'all are enjoying this little technique here. It's like it's making your own paper, basically. Now that time I stamped low enough, because you can see where there it did that, but I stamped low enough where it wasn't going to mess it up. So that one's probably not going to show, but this one will. I'll put that one there. Okay, that's pretty good. I might just put a little piece right there. Okay, so that's that. Now, did I stamp any on the inside? I did. I stamped at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that too. Put a solid red close to the center as I can. And then off. Ooh, I just stuck my thumb in that. And then I put, I love that we are friends. Now, this is not, that I love that we are friends is not in a current stamp set. It came out of this one that is retired. So I was thinking that there was something else that I wanted to use. If I can remember which one it is. Give me just a second. Because it's going to be in one of these that I laid out. What did I do there? Okay, because I got You're Amazing. That says Happy Valentine's Day, so I don't need to say that. Maybe I was thinking maybe I was gonna do Wishing You Love and Happiness that lasts the lifetime. I think that's what I was gonna do. So let me pull that one out. Here it is. Wishing You Love and Happiness. I just have something a little different on this one. And I like this little Just a Note on this one too. So like I could put that on the front of one if I wanted to, instead of like if a Happy Valentine's Day was going to be in the middle or something. I need this block. I need a block. There's a block. All right, let me flip it over here. And try to get it on there straight. And I think I stamped that. I did. I stamped it in red. Okay. And because I haven't stamped this one yet, I'm going to do a practice one right there. And so it's upside down. So let me fix that. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. Okay, and need my little heart. Figure out where I put it. Here it is. And so I did stamp that the tiniest bit crooked, but that's okay. It's all right. Okay, and I think that's all the stamping except for my envelope. I'll do that in a minute. Let me just, I may not do it on my video. So now I need to score this piece. So let me go ahead and do that. And so we'll make sure I use the score blade and not the cut blade after I did all that work. And I think I scored this one right in half, or did I? Maybe I didn't. And there's sometimes I do half and sometimes I don't. Now I scored this at 2.5. 2 3/4 would have been half. So I'm going to score it at 2.5 from the end here. Let's see, 2.5. And I'm going to use the score tool, which is the gray one, and not the black one, or the darker gray. Now, on thin paper, that scoring tool could actually tear thin paper, so you do have to be careful with that. All right, so now, let me get my bone folder again and do this. So now, this one If you look carefully, you can see how I had to see they were not stamping over the crease very well. So I folded it under and stamped it. And then I kind of, because I have a couple down in there that are underneath this that were messed up. So anyway, but I can fix just about anything. All right, I need my You're Amazing. I need to glue that on here. And then I'll need my dimensionals, and then I'll show you how I did that, because we've got to have enough dimensionals that it props your card up, but not so many that you can't tuck your little tag in there, because we want to be able to tuck our tag in. It's like an extra gift. It's an extra gift. And I debated on this color, whether I wanted, see if you look at that, whether I wanted petal pink or this, well, that's the red stamped off, or the Flirty Flamingo. And the Flirty Flamingo is almost more of a peach. So it was really kind of hard to decide how I wanted to do that. I did not center that very well at all. I was able to move it over a little bit. Okay. So, dimensionals, I want them all the way across the bottom. So this is the bottom side. Let me close up my ink in case a kitty decides to jump up here. She'll put her paw in it. All right, so we're going to go across the bottom. I'm going to go up both sides. I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one right here, okay? And then there and there. And this does give us enough, it holds it up enough to prop up the card so that I can still get my tag in there. So, take my dimensionals off. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Sorry if I do. Excuse me. Woo! Stamped off to the side. Okay. Oops, there's one. I think I got all of them. If you tilt them in the light and they're shiny, then you've pulled them all off. Okay, and then this is just going to go down here at the bottom. Again, I'm trying to line it up. Can't see real well what I'm doing. There. Okay, and so this is going to go in here. I still need to do something to it, but it's fine for now. All right, this needs to be glued onto this. Make sure I cut it right. I'm seeing a tiny bit of lavender right there, so I'm going to pull my trimmer out and trim off a smidge at the top. That's about how much I took off. If you go try to do it smaller than that, especially when your blade's not real sharp, it'll mess up your paper. So I decided to make it a little bit more than what I would have normally if my blade was sharper. So this is what's on the other side of this. Oh, hang on. And it made my paper a little bit raggedy. All right, here we go. So lay this on here like so. A smidge of red right there. Okay. Now, a lot of times my bows go where there was a mess up. So there was something under here that was kind of messed up, and so my bow covered it up. I've got some smudges down here, but I don't know what I'm gonna put on it. All right, that goes with that one. Actually, I'm not gonna. Okay, let me just show you what I did. So I have, you can use any kind of hole punch. This hole punch is a little star. I also have a hole punch that's a little tiny dot. But I wouldn't be able to get that thread through a little, or that ribbon through a tiny dot. I can get those little other ones. The one I did when I made a tag in the blue, and I used a blue, just the like cording, and it went through. You can also use a regular hole punch. And the other thing that you can do is you can use this tool right here. And you can use this piece of sponge, or you can use your mat here. I have another mat that's in worse shape than this one, so I probably won't do it in this one. But if you push it in, the paper through the mat, and I have no idea where those are. They're buried over there. And you can get a pretty big size hole there. Maybe not big enough for the ribbon, but you could try. If you don't have a hole punch, you could try that. And you can certainly get some of the cording through those. So I'm not going to punch my hole. I think what I'm going to do is, I also went through my ribbons and trying to find some ribbons that were still not retired. Most of them were. I found this one that's still current. I haven't opened it yet, but it's a gold, kind of a gold weave. And I'm trying to decide if I want to use it on this card or not. But so I'm not going to do it tonight. But basically I would just be tying a bow and putting it on here and putting a bow around there. So I may do the gold, or I might just stick to the red. I mean, I have the red. I might as well use it. But you could use this gold thing. And there's probably another red ribbon that's still current. I just don't happen to have the one that's current. As I said, I didn't buy a lot of stuff in the last year. So I'm just going to stick this one in the card I did tonight. Sending hugs. And I do need to glue this piece on though. So let's glue this piece on. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the red. I'm just going to stick to the red. So I glued this about a ½ inch up from the bottom, a ½ inch on both these sides. So you kind of want to mark with your finger. You don't want the glue above that. So the glue all needs to be below that. Get back over here where we can see again. So again, you don't want the glue going above where you're marking it with your finger. And then what I will do is I'll go right here and go closer to the edge. Just don't go over too far, because, you know, and bring it down a little bit like that. Okay, and I'm going to lay it like this. And again, it's going to be about a ½ inch on all sides. I can see me doing this, I hope. And just double check. Okay, so I'm just double checking to make sure my glue that I didn't stick the glue on it, because I don't want to push down there if there's glue behind it. So, and what I'll do is I'll do this way, and I'll get my bone folder and do this to get it on there real good. Okay, so there you go. And that's going to go like that. And I think I will go ahead and do a red bow for the, okay, might as well. Show y'all how I do that. All right, so let me get my red out. What do I do with this? Here it is. And my purple ones that I did, I had to use a retired purple too, so, but it's the only purple I have, so that's what I used. I'm pretty sure it's the only purple. So if you don't have any ribbons at all, you know, I mean, you don't have to use Stampin' Up ribbon. You might have some other ribbon around your house. And I'll tell you what I used before I got any Stampin' Up ribbon, or that I even had much ribbon at all of any kind. I had embroidery floss. I don't know why I had embroidery floss, but I had a big old collection of embroidery floss, and I probably still have some. And I would use embroidery floss on my cards before I started Stampin' Up. And you can get it in every color of the rainbow, and it doesn't cost that much. And I would buy like a bag of it for, you know, $8, and I'd have every color in the rainbow of embroidery floss. So so maybe just for your everyday stuff, you might just use embroidery floss. But then maybe you'll see something cool that you really like and that you're willing to spend a little extra money on, like this stuff, you know. And then, you know, invest in something more of a specialty kind of a ribbon, you know. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love for you to spend money in my store through my name, through my demonstrator website on the Stampin' Up website. You put my name in and you order and you use my name. I would love for you to do that. But you know, you gotta be reasonable too. And I've had to cut way back on what I get, and just pick, you know, 1 or 2 stamp sets that I really like and that I feel like I'll get use out of, and only buying a few every quarter. Sometimes I like a paper pack that I really like. I love paper, let me just say. And I've got all this unused retired paper. And I found a cute idea the other day that I'm going to use to try to use up some of my paper, and make some card kits, and maybe I might make some money selling the card kits. That's what I'm going to try to do. Or they're not card kits, they're little packets that have like 6 or 8 cards in them. So, and they're in a cute little packet, and it's a great way to use up the designer paper. So I'm going to make a bunch of those little kits and try to sell them. So maybe I'll make a little money doing that. And also I'm selling a lot of my stamps and my die cuts. I had a handful of paper pumpkin kits. I don't know if I still have some left. I have sold a few of those that I never opened. And some Stampin' Up kits too that I had never opened, a couple of those. So if there's something that you're wanting that's no longer available, let me know what it is. I might have it. It might be one of the ones I'm letting go of. I shocked myself the amount of things that I was letting go of. I'm still working on it though, because I want to try to sell them, because I feel like, I mean, I'm trying to declutter, and normally declutter, I just put it in the back of my car and it's gone, you know, and I take it away. But I feel like the Stampin' Up stuff, I feel like people will buy it and that I don't have to just give it away. Now, if it sits around for a long time, I might give it away, depending, you know. But I'm going to try to get a little bit of money for it. Which I said I have sold some stuff, so that's been nice. But I'm going to try to sell some more items. And so, like I said, if you've got something that you're looking for, product from, and so I started in the end of the year, I think, of 2021. So if it's before then, you know, I may not have it. But if it's been since that time, I may have that item. And I am not going to take the time to make the envelope, because I've got one here I can show you already. There's how we did that. And I don't want to pull too hard because I don't want to tear my little hole. I'm trying to see. That's probably about right. I mean, I could maybe trim those back a little bit, but that's pretty good. And I'll end up like twisting them down or something to close the envelope. So there you go. There's our next card. Here's the envelope for this one. See, here you go. And that, there you go. And the other one I made, I set it down right here. This one. And an envelope for this one. So there's the 2 cards for today. And it's just so cute. And I hope you enjoyed our little session here and appreciate your time. I would really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up and share and like. Well, that would be a like. And comment if you've got any constructive criticism. I would appreciate constructive criticism. If there's anything you'd like to see me work on or see me do, I'll be glad to do that as well. Just let me know. Again, you can text me. 864-752-5688. Please go find me on Facebook. Join my Facebook page. You can email me. I check it about 3 times a way. Kim's Creations, but Kim with a K, Creations with a K. kimscreations.cards@gmail.com. And I hope to be back on here getting my purple cards done for you tomorrow. And then we'll be looking into Easter and showing you how to use the, and just some regular note cards and thank you cards. I need to do some of those. And then to show you how to use that new positioning tool that's the joining special for February. So anyway, you guys have a great evening and I will get back with y'all soon. Bye-bye.